He took a seat near me, staring at my hand as if to assure me from harm. Who was this man? It seems like he's already into me, okay? Seems like he already wants me, so let's quit the chit-chat. Let's go ahead and get married, okay? Let's just do it. Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Hakuoki. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into chapter 4? Are we in chapter 4 now? I don't know. Fuck it. March 1864. It fast approached a month since I began living with the Shinsengumi headquarters. Hijikata and Sanan finally returned to the compound from their trip to Osaka, but spirits were low. Sanan's injury had unforeseen consequences for everyone in the organization. Day-to-day operations became hectic for a little while. His wounds seemed quite dire, and they drained whatever goodness in his nature he hoped to keep. Sanan would spend days holed up in his room, protected by a barrier of impenetrable silence. If he were to leave his room, a rare occasion now, he was often short-tempered and quickly retreated. Even though I, too, spent days in exile of my room, he seemed to take it much differently. Sanan seemed trapped within a painful memory, each day bringing him closer to a gloomy twilight. I softly pondered what service I could offer to the Shinsengumi if I were not allowed to search for my father. I'm sure Hijikata is overwhelmed with whatever business he's dealing with, but I need to visit him. I've realized with the tension so high that it's better to have Hijikata on my side rather than not. I crept around the hall, looking for Hijikata, but he was nowhere to be seen. Would it be impolite to visit his room directly? Fuck it, let's go. What's the worst that could happen? As I paced around the hall in contemplation, an unknown warrior appeared before me. I've been living in the Yagi residence for a month, but he was unfamiliar to me. My current dilemma compelled me to approach him. Excuse me, have you seen Hijikata? The man turned to respond, and my eyes widened to scan his enormous frame before he spoke. Oh, well, it's a long story. I'm Dia Yukimura.
副長が故障に取り立てたという見習い大使とはお前のことか
Am I still dressed as a boy? Yeah, sure. I wasn't aware they were telling people that I was an apprentice warrior at headquarters. However, my reputation was the last thing on my mind as I faced this man's pressuring gaze. I didn't appreciate the harsh scrutiny he seemed to impose, scanning me from head to toe.
お前局長や副長とはどんな関係だ同じ江戸の出身らしいがどんな縁故を使って取り入った
Just gonna note that he has purple eyes. I did no such
そう
thing.
向きになるところを見るとますます怪しいぞここはお前のような剣の腕も才覚もなさそうなものがうろうろしていいところではないんだろうな
Talking a lot of shit, that's what he's doing.
もう一度聞くどうやってあの二人に取り入ったこの私武田貫流祭が聞いているのだぞなぜ答えない
So Takeda is it? Captain of the Shinsengumi's 5th Division, he has extensive knowledge on Koshu military science, which led to his promotion to War Magistrate. He aims to be Kondu's close aide. He grew increasingly agitated, almost like a petulant child, because I refused to answer him. He reached his massive hand over towards me as if to grab me, but then a voice stopped him.
Oi, Takeda! こんなところで何をしている?
Listen to your daddy, Takeda. Listen to your daddy. When he recognized Hijikata's voice, he snapped his hand back to his side.
これは土方副長。何？
俺は何も聞いちゃいない。
最近お姿が見えない三段総長の代わりに相談に乗ってほしいと言われているのです。しかし近藤局長もいらっしゃらないようなので、私はこれで失礼します。
Takeda turned to take his leave, but then he slowed his step, leaving us with a few words.
ところで、土方副長。そのものを故障に取り立てたというのは本当ですか？
ああ、少しばかり訳ありでな。
承知しました。訳ありならば、詳しく聞くのはやめておきましょう。ですが、あまり同じ郷里のものばかりを周りに囲うのはいかがなものかと思います。では、失礼。
Once Takeda exited the hall, I couldn't help but feel a rush of relief.
おい、雪村。本所の中を勝手に歩くんじゃねえ。
Yes, sir. I didn't mean to cause trouble.
お前の正体を知っているのは、このヤギ邸に寝起きしてるやつだけど。
The location of the first headquarters for the Shinsengumi.
前川邸からこっちに来るやつらに気をつけろ。
It was located right beside the Yagi residence, and it was the first ever headquarters used by the Shinsengumi. Clear. I promise to be more careful going forward. So may I ask who that man was?
あいつか。5番組組長の武田官流斎ってやつだ。腕はそこそこだが、文学だが軍学の多少の知恵を持っているやつだ。抜け目のないやつだから気をつけろ。
Was that a whisper?
それから用がないならお前もこの辺でうろうろしてないで部屋に戻っていろ。
Hijikata attempted to dismiss me, having said what he felt was appropriate as a stern commander. I didn't get many chances to see Hijikata, so I took the opportunity to offer my aid to the house. I actually have a favor to ask of you, Hijikata. Staying in my room for long periods alone makes me feel terribly useless. Would you please give me something to do? I'll do anything. Cleaning, laundry, anything. Hijikata sensed the sincerity of my plea, and it appeared as though he actually considered it.
部屋にこもっているのはそんなに退屈か？
Duh, that's what I'm asking. A little.
わかった。源さんに伝えておくから、後で指示を仰ぐ。
Really?
その代わり、あまり外から来たやつと関わるんじゃねえぞ。いいな。
Understood, but thank you so much. The next day, Inoue informed me that I was given more freedom within the headquarters, which allowed me to exit my room freely. My duties included cleaning, laundry, and cooking. Not the most glamorous of chores, but of course. However, it gave me an opportunity to occupy myself as opposed to going stir-crazy in my room. Oh, that was a short chapter. We'll keep going. June 1864. The fourth year of the Bunkyu era became the Ganji Ganen, and the summer sweetly blossomed. Spring shed its blooming skin, giving birth to lush green trees facing the wide open sky. During one of these beautiful summer days, I finished cleaning after everyone ate breakfast, and Saito brought me to the hall to Hijikata.
副長、斉藤です。雪村を連れて参りました。
入る。
Saito responded by quietly opening the sliding doors, gesturing me to enter the room. Upon entering, I saw Hijikata, but also Okita, Nagakura, Harada, and Heisuke in the hall. It appeared that only the captains who were aware of my situation were present.
随分と長く待たせたね。お前を外に出してやる時が来た。
Finally! Oh wait, hold on. Let me out where? Because if y'all sending me on a mission... No, I'm good. Let me just either leave or go back to my room. There's no in between. Let me go home, go find my daddy, or let me go back to my room. Because if y'all start making me do crazy shit, I'm gonna be pissed. I could barely contain the excitement in my voice as soon as the words came out of his mouth. So is it true that there was a man in Fushimi that matched my father's profile? Oh, this is information. This is new information. We don't know this. Castle town in the southern part of Kyoto. Cool.
真偽は定かじゃねえが、本人かどうかは娘のお前に確かめてもらうのが一番だと思ってな。
I nodded in response. For now, any information pertaining to my father was appreciated, so I was thankful. So, where is this man who supposedly looks like my father?
伏見にある寺田屋って宿だ。これから斎藤に確かめに行っても。
An inn located in Fushimi, it is often frequented by warriors of the Satsuma or Antosa domains. Saito is assigned. I wasn't sure if that meant I was to accompany Saito or if I would have to wait longer for him. Then Harada chimed in.
だが、行動さんがまだそこに留まってるとは限らねえだろう。ああ、伏見にいたってことは、今日の街中をうろついてる可能性もある。
その通りだ。だから原田と新八、それから平助の巡察にこいつを同行させて高堂さんを探してもらってもいい。
俺たち全員で？いつもは手分けして順番に見回りしてるのに。
Hijikata didn't bother entertaining a response, instead looking towards me. Was he suggesting these were the men who were responsible for dealing with me should I attempt to flee? Heisuke must have sensed this as well, so he made no attempt to push the issue any further.
言いたいことは分かりましたけど、この子のおもりを僕たちに任せっぱなしってのは、今日は確か土方さんも外出する予定が入ってましたよね。今後のためにも可愛い故障を同行させて、いろいろ勉強させたらどうですか？
何を言ってやがる。こいつが俺の故障っつうのはお前が勝手に言ってただけだろうが。
でも他の大使たちは完全にそう信じ込んでるみたいですよ。嘘から出た誠なんて言葉もありますし。
As Okita and Hijikata bickered at one another, the mood of the room was locked in their tense words until Harada whispered to me.
まあ、今の今日は物騒だし、無理に出かける必要はねえと思うぜ。俺たちも一応、高堂さんの顔はわかるんだしな。
I could look for my father in Fushimi or join the patrol rounds assuming he moved places or stay here to keep safe from the outside, or accompany Hijikata as his page. Ooh. So we have Harada, Takeda, Saito, and then Hijikata, because he's pissing me off. So he's kind of worked his way down my list. I don't really care to be around him or go on a little journey with him so he can talk shit. And I just want her to kind of just do her own thing, like go back to what she was doing before she even got here. So let's just go do us. My father might be at Fushimi. I want to find out. Even if he had already left Fushimi, there was a chance I could find a lead to his next location. I had already made up my mind. I will go to Terada Inn. Saito, will you mind if I come along with you? Thanks, Boo. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant thank you. Wow, I couldn't believe I might see father. My heart pounded heavily in my chest, and I did my best to keep my composure and bow. Ooh, we back in them streets! The air was slightly humid. The air was slightly humid, a thin dampness permeating despite no signs of rain.
あんたにとっては久方ぶりの外出だな。体調の方はどうだ？
I'm ready to throw some. It was an even longer while since I've worn straw sandals, so blisters formed around my strap. I'm fine. I'm dying inside with those damn slippers. I was eager to see if my father was nearby, so I ignored any minor distractions or obstacles. It seemed Saito could read through my words, and he pretended to ignore my discomfort. We were heading to Fushimi, which is south of Kyoto. Hijikata mentioned my father was staying at the Terada Inn, but how do we even know if it's legit?
観察型からもたらされた情報。その宿、剃髪の乱歩医が逗留しているらしい。
A bald doctor? I grew restless with anticipation from Saito's words, and my heart couldn't contain itself. Could this person really be my father? How many bald men practice his field of
先
study?
を急ぐぞ。疲れが出てきたら言え。
Okay. Take care of me then. I had to make sure Saito doesn't see me as a burden, so I tucked my strap and hurried with him. Shortly after, we reached the Tarada Inn, located in Fushimi. Is my father really here? The inn itself looked well kept from the outside, and Fushimi stirred in the background. I clenched my throat nervously as I approached the door, but I waited for Saito to instruct me.
向かいに茶店がある。
Oops. Wait, we're going through the tea shop? Why didn't he go in immediately to snoop around? I had so many questions, both for him and father. However, Saito seemed very calculated, scanning the area since we arrived, so it felt best to trust his judgment. We entered the tea shop around the other side, and Saito began scoping the Terada Inn. Saito led me to a seat near the shop's balcony, and he whispered discreetly into my ear.
Terada屋はもともと薩摩藩御用達の宿と言われている。
Thought he was gonna say something cute.
そのためか、西国の老師が立ち寄ることが多いと言われているのだ。
From the west? From what I knew, the Choshu domain was connected to Imperial Ronin from the west as well. A domain governed by Takachika Mori, an opposition daimyo. Most members of this daimyo? Daimyo. A domain governed by Takachika Mori, an opposition daimyo. Daimyo. Most members of this domain were nationalist imperialists during the early part of the Bakumatsu period. What does that mean for my father to be here?
単なる偶然か。ある。
Oh no, surely it's a coincidence. Saito looked at me but didn't respond. But the possibility of my father conducting business in Fushimi now pointed to an implicit relationship between him and the imperialists. But that couldn't be the case. My father explicitly told me he was visiting Kyoto under direct orders from the shogunate. Surely there was a reason for the confusion. But what kind of reason would he have being here?
とはいえ、
He lied to you, girl.
我々の立場を考えると、不用意に寺田屋に立ち入るわけにもいかぬ。故にあんたにはここで宿に出入りする客の様子を確かめてもらおうと思うのだが、構わぬか。
Sure, I guess. You want me to watch the inn? Saito wasn't my babysitter, but I appreciate some backup if something went wrong. Does Saito trust me enough for him to take his eyes off of me? I didn't want to mess things up. Saito, ever the keen eye, spoke to comfort
俺
me.
は尊上派の老師に顔を覚えられているかもしれん。ここで張り込みをするのは差し障りがある。案ずるな。 俺も近くで情報集めを行うつもりだ。何かあればすぐに駆けつける。
Okay, whatever you say, Saito. Alright, but I'm holding you to that.
頼んだぞ。
Saito stood quickly and disappeared into the crowd, leaving me in my seat and at the tea shop. I had to play the part, so I gathered my bearings in my new surroundings and I approached a customer visiting the shop for questions. For a second, I had to remember I was there for a mission, but it felt like I was a spy in a play. I gathered some intel from customers confirming sightings of a bald doctor of Western medicine who frequented the Tarada Inn until a few days ago. Unfortunately, the leads ran dry for anything during the past 2 or 3 days. Looks like we may have just missed him. I braced myself for the possibility that the lead was false, but even still, it was discouraging to come up with nothing. This was no time to be upset, though. Maybe he would return to the inn after finishing whatever business it was that took him away. Longing for a loved one to return is like waiting for a wound to heal, where the memory of the time before the pain seeps into every moment after. With the approval of the tea shop's owner, I watched the happenings of the Tarada Inn from the shop's balcony. Just then, a mysterious visitor approached me.
人間違うだが、誰かと待ち合わせか?
Maybe. Huh? He caught me off guard. Had he been watching me? I turned around, nearly clutching my Kadachi. He took a seat near me, staring at my hand as if to assure me from harm. Who was this man? It seems like he's already into me, okay? Seems like he already wants me, so let's quit the chit-chat. Let's go ahead and get married, okay? Let's just do it. He didn't look like anyone I'd ever seen
どうした?
before.
ぼーっとして。待ってるんじゃなきゃ誰か探してるのか?
Oh no. I shook my head, unsure if he could be trusted. You see, well, I'm looking for my father.
おう、親父さんを。って、何か訳ありみたいだな。話してみろよ。もしかしたら力になれるかもしれないぜ。
I'm not sure. I don't trust him yet. I contemplated whether or not this man would have known my father, or even the possibility that telling this man anything would jeopardize me. However, any information he could have may help. My father visited Kyoto on a business trip, but he suddenly ceased communication with me. Rumors surfaced that someone with his likeness came to this inn, and I had to see for myself.
あんた、東国の生まれだろ。
Yes, I came from Edo.
そいつは大変だな。こっちの土地勘もないだろうし。よし、わかった。
Well... I mean... Ted Bundy was a murderer, so... Oh, no thank you. Look, he looks mad. Please don't take any offense, but I only just met you and it would be rude to ask you for help. He furrowed his brow deeply, pausing to think before speaking again.
だがあんた、困ってるんだろ? 今日に来たばかりなら、つてもろくにないだろうし。
Does he have a ponytail? Well, yes, it's true. I'm not from here. But it's like trying to catch smoke. My father being here might just be a rumor after all. I couldn't bear to trouble you with something that may just be an unsubstantiated rumor.
なるほど、なるほど。
He smirked kindly and nodded in agreement.
ま、それならそれで別にいいさ。どうせ退屈してるところだしな。
Huh? Do you just look for people to help often?
いいからいいから。袖振り合うも多少の縁なんて言うだろ。 俺に任せておけって。
I see. Well, thank you anyway. I thought it was firm in how I rejected his offer, but he kept pressing the issue. I repeatedly refused his help, but for whatever reason, he would insist on being a gentleman. In the end, it would seem he didn't actually respect my position or my agency. Well, thank you for trying to help me, Mr.
俺の名前か？俺はサイタに梅太郎って言うんだ。よろしくね。
Saitani. His face remained calm behind a wry smile. Ah, Saitani. My name is Yukimura. It's very nice to meet
雪
you.
村ちゃんね。名は体を表すなんて言うが、そのまんまだな。
Boy! What you know about my figure? Boy, you got me. It's hot. It's getting real hot in here. You think my name matches my figure?
下の名前はきっとあんたによく似合う可愛い
Give
名
him a
前な
fake
んだろうが。
name. Ah, well, cute is kind of a stretch. If I told him my name was Ryu Yukimura, he might suspect me to be a woman.
まあい
He
いか。
already said she.
女っていうのはいくつも
Yeah,
秘密が
he
あるっていう
knows
しね
she's a woman. He knows we're a girl already. After he said those words, I gasped and covered my mouth with my hands. Wait a minute, Saitani. I'm not a
Yeah?
woman.
どこをどう見ても女だろう。それとも俺をバカにしてるのか？
Bro, everybody can't be dumb. I would never take you for a fool.
こんな可愛い娘がうろうろしてたら周りの男が放っておかないだろうし。
Thanks.
で、あんたはどういう男が好みなんだ？男と出かけるんならどういう場所がいい？
Saitani. We're not talking about me right now. I thought you were going to help me look for my father.
そういや、そうだったな。
He's
す
a
っかり忘れてたぜ。
Saitani's talent appeared to be in engaging seemingly endless conversations. Since he was the first person outside of the Shinsengumi with whom I'd spoken, I completely lost track of time. Luckily, Saito appeared to rescue me.
雪村、待たせてすまなかったな。今戻った。
Oh, hi, Saito.
なんだ、お仲間が帰ってきちまったのか。そんじゃ、これ以上の手助けは無用かな。
Till next time. Saitani stood up from his seat slowly, appearing dejected as if I'd broken his heart.
それじゃあな。縁があればまた会おうぜ。
Oh, maybe. Before I could tell him goodbye, Saitani had wandered off. Saito focused on him, making sure he was out of earshot, and muttered quietly into my ear.
今の男。
You sound a little jealous, my boy. He snuck up behind me earlier. Supposedly his name is Saitani. How did it go, Saito? Were you able to find anything useful about my
それ
father?
については帰る道すがら話すが。
Oh. I felt my stomach drop from his words, and I assumed it meant the lead was false. I clenched my fists tightly, fighting back angry tears. I couldn't let Saito see my disappointment.
待っていてくれ。今あんたの分の感情を済ませてくる。
Okay. Thanks, Saito. Saito and I headed back to the base, and I noticed fireflies grouping in circles as he updated me. The bald doctor staying in the Terada Inn was, in fact, someone different than my father, who just happened to match his description.
すまんな。わざわざあんたに伏見まで同行してもらったという。
Oh, please don't worry. Any time with you is well spent, Saito. Even though we learned nothing about my father, I was able to get some fresh air. That's nice. And hang out with you. Still, I couldn't shake the worry for my father. Saito looked to me reassuringly, and his face lit brightly as he remembered
そうい
something.
えば、先ほどあんたと話していた男のことだが、
What about him? Oh, you mean Saitani?
妙な男だった。一見人好きするように見えたが、立ち居がうまいには隙が全くなかっ
I guess I didn't notice. To me, Saitani didn't seem guarded at all, judging by how open he was with stories. Was something troubling you about him, Saito? He nodded in response, looking away from my face.
剣の心得がある者は目を見ればわかる。おそらく脱藩浪人の類だろう。この辺りで寝泊まりしているとすれば、薩摩
I knew
や
it.
西国にゆかりがあるものかもしれん。
A Ronin, He seemed too jovial to be a lordless samurai, especially the ones causing trouble in Kyoto. For what it seemed like in our conversation, he was the furthest thing from a warrior.
気を許す方がいいだろ
warrior.
うな。昨今の今日の治安を考えると、用心に用心を重ねておくに越したことはあるまい。
Understood. I wonder who this Saitani man really was. My first adventure into Fushimi taught me many things, and I could only await what came next. Hold on! Hold on! You mean to tell me that all of that was chapter 1, so we are not even in chapter 2? Wow. So you're telling me that all those other ones were, it was, yeah, okay. So, come on. Alrighty, I do appreciate you guys tuning in into this Hakuoki episode. We will be back at it. I'm hopefully gonna drop another video tomorrow, but as of today, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you celebrate. I'm glad that you guys have tuned in, and I hope you guys are all safe during this time, okay? And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!